It's Trey Styles on the beat.
What's up? What's up? Could you see the intro just now?
Yeah, the intro fire.
I could not. I only saw it on the vertical view, but I could not see it here, like on the main one.
Nah, the intro hot, man.
Maybe okay. Okay. Maybe it's just my thing. I'm glad y'all can hear. I was like, wait, because my screen was black. I was like, why is it not playing? What's happening? I didn't want to stop because I wasn't sure if it was just me. But what's up? What's up? How are you doing today?
I'm great, man. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. I told you I turned the channel. You had me turn the channel back for nothing.
Nah, well, it went for then. I mean, it was a 7-point game. You know, coach defense just decided they didn't want to play ball tonight.
Is
I don't
that
know
what it
why.
was?
Phillip Rivers played his best game, but I'm pretty sure we about to get into it.
We absolutely are, you
I
guys,
see you
man.
got your Knicks. I mean, your Yankees ad on.
I do, and I have me a Detroit hoodie on because we will have to get into that craziness that happened that gave your Steelers the victory. We'll get there.
Oh well, that I won't say that. Now they earned
Yeah,
it. Now we ain't
yeah,
gonna we
yeah,
ain't
yeah,
gonna we ain't
yeah,
gonna take
yeah.
that away from them.
We do just a little bit of help from the rest. We're like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's all right, it's all right. We're gonna get there, you know what I mean? We're gonna get there. You know, Josh won yesterday, so that's really all that matters to me, okay? So
Okay, I don't know. I got some
hey,
secrets to tell.
hey, look, okay? It might have been a close win. It might have been a nasty win, but it still ends up in the win column.
Yeah,
So
win is a win.
what are we gonna focus on as it pertains to your Steelers? A win is a win. It doesn't matter if there's like the kind of like let the foot the next and almost lost the game. It doesn't matter, of course, you know, but they won. So yeah, go off Aaron Rodgers. But you know, we're gonna get right into it, you guys. Week 16 in the NFL is a wrap. I cannot believe we have like 2 more weeks of the regular season, and we're gonna get right into these postseason, and we're gonna find out in what? It's almost January. We're gonna find out. We're gonna crown a new champ. Or maybe we're gonna crown the Eagles again. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out the way time is flying by, man.
Oh yeah, it's
What's up, you
almost
guys?
at the
Happy
end.
holiday, right? Happy holidays, you guys. Christmas is here in a few days. Few days. Hope you got your Christmas shop out the way. I haven't even started my shopping yet, y'all. Do not judge me. Do not judge me at
It
all.
ain't no thing.
But you guys, let's get right into it. Niners versus Colts. Honestly speaking, when they were explaining, I don't know if you heard it because you have your sound off, but they were explaining, you know, the Colts' chances of making the postseason, and obviously, you know, those chances are very, 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 you know, just minor of happening at this point, you know. But when you watch the game, overall, what did you think? I'm gonna start with the Niners though. Obviously they have some huge injuries on the defensive side of things, you know, not having Bosa, not having Fred Warner, but they offensively, you know,
Right.
they're still really good. Defense, they're still good as well. Don't get me wrong, you know, but not having those two players, you know, I think in the postseason will matter. But right now, Kyle Shanahan, we haven't really spoken a lot about him. Honestly, we've spoken about Ben Johnson being in contention for Coach of the Year. We've spoken about Mike
Mike
Vrabel, but
Vrabel. Yeah.
yeah, should we put Kyle in that conversation? I mean, there's been a lot of
Oh,
injuries. Brock has been out, had to use Mac. You know, like should
yes,
we put him in that conversation? What do you think about that?
definitely. When you look at the roster he's had to play with, I mean, he had lost
Hmm.
his starting quarterback for a lot of weeks early in the
Hmm.
season, and had Mac Jones looking like the second coming of Joe Montana. So, and the wide receivers have been in shambles all year. I mean, you still don't have Brandon Ayuk, and he won't be back this season.
I forgot
Um,
all about him. I'm like, what happened? He
right,
just disappeared. I'm
right.
like, what
Ki-
happened, dude?
Kittle went down earlier this season, and it looks like he might sustain a ankle injury
Hmm.
in this game, which might keep him out a week or so going forward. And we already talked about the defense.
Mm-hmm.
You lost two of your major players on defense, and Robert Saleh
Definitely.
has kept it, respectable. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they've been dealing with a ton of injuries, and the coaching staff have kept the team. I mean, they went out. They got number one seed in the NFC. That's how impressive it is. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
Kyle Shanahan definitely deserves to be in the conversation when you talk about coach of the year.
If you had a vote, right, for coach of the year, if you had to vote right now, who you going with out of those three? Who you choosing?
I mean, out of those three,
Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, I think those are the three that really, for me, should be like in the conversation. I know more so
I
it's
mean,
been
I
Mike
just
and Ben, but
I really think there are a lot of coaches that are in that conversation this year. I mean, we ain't even talking about Mike McDonald, what he did in Seattle in the offseason when Seattle
you're
was
right.
getting rid of all their players. They got rid of DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, they got rid of
You're right.
Geno. They
Mm-hmm.
start getting rid of, and people like, what is Seattle doing? They must be in the rebuild. And now you
Mm-hmm.
looking at it, Seattle is a world beater
Sam,
right now. They
Sam
one of the
Houston is out
favorites.
there doing big things.
Right, right. I mean, there are a lot of coaches in there. I probably would go with Mike Vrabel, seeing where New England was last year. They got a second year quarterback,
And Drake
and
made the MVP
yeah,
conversation.
and he's in the MVP conversation. And you have an opportunity to be the number one team in the AFC. I mean, I know you hate it, but got to put Sean Payton in that conversation. Sean Payton has done a hell of a job with that Denver Bronco team for them to be in contention. Right now, they're number one in the AFC. And also, I gotta mention the job that Mike Tomlin has done with that roster, the way it's constructed. There's no way the Pittsburgh
You
Steelers should
are
be.
killing me with those last two.
I mean,
Really?
I'm just giving you all the coaches that are in the conversation. But at the end of the day, if I had a vote, I would give it to Mike Vrabel.
For me, if I had a vote, I'm gonna go with Ben Johnson. I'm gonna go with Big Ben. I'm gonna go with Big Ben. And like I said, honestly speaking, I think those three at the top of the list. For me, um, obviously all deservedly so. But if I had to choose, and I had a vote, I'm gonna go with Big Ben. But I really think honestly, I think Mike's gonna get it just because Drake May's in that MVP conversation. Look at what they did last year. Look at where they are this year. Just as a whole, like they've been a laughing stock, in New England for a little minute now.
Right.
So I honestly think it's going to go to him. But as it pertains to the 49ers, do you see this team making to the Super Bowl this year?
Uh, Clearly I have the Eagles, but the
Hmm.
49ers are contenders. They're legit contenders. I mean, Brock Purdy
Or,
said it
or should I
best.
rephrase it? Let me rephrase it. Are we not taking them seriously enough? Like,
Oh, I'm
have they?
taking them serious. I'm taking them
Not
serious.
you, but I mean, like when you hear about the conversation in terms of the teams, like you haven't really heard much about the 49ers, honestly. Now, it could be because Mac Jones was there and Brock was hurt, and they had a lot of injuries, things of that nature. But it'll probably change now, you know what I mean? Like the next couple of weeks. But up until this point, it hasn't really been too much said about them at all. Do you think
Well,
that, not you per se, but do you think
yeah,
teams should be, and ESPN, whatever like sports shows should be taking them more seriously to be like a
yeah.
legit threat?
I think NFL teams are taking them serious because you have
Hmm.
one of the most efficient quarterbacks in all of the league in Brock Purdy. You have arguably the best play call in the league. Brock Purdy said it best after the game. I did listen to his post game interview.
Get his
He
big
said,
one?
"Yeah, yeah." He said Kyle Shanahan was in his bag tonight in that
Hmm.
play calling. He was calling the perfect plays at the right time. Everything fit. Like
Hmm.
when you got a Kyle Shanahan led offense, you got one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the game. Robert Saleh, like I said, he's gonna keep the defense respectable.
Hmm.
You have to respect the San Francisco 49ers. Now I can understand from a media, when you talk about the ESPNs and all those guys on TV,
Hmm.
the 49ers are not sexy. They're not something you look at and you say, well, they got this guy that you really like a lot, this guy that you really, and so it's not a sexy pick, but other NFL teams, the Rams, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Seahawks, oh, they're paying attention to what the 49ers are capable of because they know
Hmm.
you got to go beat the 49ers when it comes to playoff time.
I think this roster and where they are right now compared to like previous seasons, it was like 49ers just like dominant. You know what I mean? It was like that's the team that, like that is the favorite. You got to go win, you got to beat them. It was the Chiefs, you know what I mean? That was the conversation. It was like the
Hmm.
Niners, you know what I mean? And then obviously things didn't work out. But you never know. Like I said, they I think kind of flew under the radar a little bit this season because of the injuries, so people I just only got Mac Jones, whatever, you know what I mean? Brock's not there.
Right.
They got injuries, yeah, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? But now, things are moving along. I'm just curious to see how it looks in the playoffs without having someone like Bosa, without having someone like Warner. I think you'll feel it then more so maybe than now because it's the playoffs.
I agree. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm not picking them. I
Hmm.
respect them. I understand that they can go beat
Yeah, they
anybody.
definitely deserve the respect.
Right, they can go beat anybody in the NFC on any given Sunday or Saturday, whichever day the playoff game is played. But I still believe in the formula. Hey, what's happening out there? I still believe in the
What's up?
formula that wins
You
Super
gotta
Bowls.
love Nadi's accent. What's up? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, I still believe in defense, the run game, and
You gotta believe in defense.
right defense, the run game, and a solid quarterback.
Hmm.
And it really, honestly, I mean, I like the Eagles. I'm picking the Eagles, but
Hmm.
the Rams, to me, the Rams have to be the favorite in the NFC when you're talking about Super Bowl, real Super Bowl contenders. I think the Rams have everything that you need to go out there and win the Super Bowl. So
I mean, obviously Matthew Stafford should win MVP the way it's looking. Um, this is a team that lost to the Panthers. They also lost to the Eagles yet again. In spite of how the Eagles look, now we can go back and forth about how the offense look, about how the defense and play calling and Jalen Hurts not being top five and so on. We can go back
right,
and forth about that. But they still lost. They lost
correct.
last year. They lost again this season. Can they beat the Eagles? Of course. I'm not saying that they cannot. But the fact that it hasn't happened recently, should I say, I'm going to say when it comes down to it, if it comes down to Rams and Eagles again, I'm going to go with the Eagles. If
I
I
would, I,
if
I would too. But again,
Oh, you would? Okay.
you just
That's where
named
I'm
two
going.
teams
Mm.
that are number one in their division. Those are not bad losses. Those are a bad loss would be, to a team that's down at the bottom. Like they have the
At the
Falcons next
time,
week.
the Panthers were like, they've made some strides since that loss. So, like, but before that, people were like, Panthers, yeah, Bryce, yeah.
Well, when the Panthers beat the Rams, that catapulted the Panthers to being in
Hmm.
first place of the NFC South. I mean, even though it was short because Tampa Bay came out and ended up winning the game, and then Panthers lost to the Saints. But the Panthers have been, I'm just saying the Panthers are not
They made some great strides.
right. The Panthers are not a team like if you lose to the Raiders or you lose to the Titans or you lose to the Browns or the Jets, then you be like, that's a bad loss. That's something
Hmm.
that you don't want on your resume. But the
Hmm.
teams that they lost to, those are teams that can beat anybody in the league. So, you're not gonna win them all. But
That's true.
even in those games that they lost, when you
Hmm.
talk about they lost to Seattle last week, 38-37 in a great shootout on
Another
Thursday night
crazy ending.
football.
Another
Right. They
crazy
lost to the
ending. I was
Panthers.
like,
They
wait,
lost
what?
to the right. They lost to the Eagles. All these were last minute football games. They didn't get blowed out. They were
Hmm.
all close
Yeah.
games that came down to the end. So they
Hmm.
could have won all of those games. So, and when it comes to the playoffs, a lot of times that's what it comes down to. It comes to a possession or two, a turnover here, a special
Hmm.
teams play there. So, it's wide open in my opinion. In AFC and NFC, it's wide open.
Honestly speaking, the way this season has shaped up, honestly speaking, anything is possible. Like
Right.
what we initially thought coming in and who we had up here and who we had down here. Like it's been a lot of shifting and changes and injuries. So anything is possible as long as my Bills get there. I don't really care, but anything is possible. Okay, anything is possible. We're gonna move along though, right? To the Colts, you guys. Look, we were all Indiana Jones and the MVP conversation early on, and Jonathan Taylor doing some great miraculous things, and it was out there looking good in Indiana, and man, it has come crashing down, just really crashing down. It's so unfortunate. Danny was out there looking sad in the skybox. I was like, oh man, I felt bad for him because he was having his revenge season. Like the Giants got rid of me. They said I couldn't play. I'm gonna show you something, New York. Let me show you something. And he was out there doing his big one. And injuries happen. That's the way it's made up. I saw AR out there. I didn't recognize Anthony Richardson. I was like, he looks different. Looks like he's taking
Yeah,
better
yeah,
care
he
of
do
himself.
look different.
I was
Yeah,
like, this Anthony Richardson. I was like, wait, hold up. I'm proud of
right.
him.
I'm
Hold on
surprised they
now.
let him come to the game.
I'm done. Like you thought his car was revoked, his employee car was revoked.
Right. He was
Come
on
for
the
no reason.
sidelines. I was like, okay, maybe that's a positive sign.
It is. It is
Right.
positive. It looks like he's taking better care of himself. He looks like he's a little bit more focused. I mean, look, when you lose your job to begin with, you're already injury prone, and then they bring in Grandpa Rivers. Okay, like you better wake
Right.
up and get together. Okay. So we'll see what happens with that. But looking ahead, right? Because I think this season pretty much is done. I don't see them getting to the playoffs. The
Oh,
way
it's
it
done.
stands right now. Yeah, everybody got to lose out. All these different things have to happen for them to get in there. Um, what do you think the Colts? What do you most looking forward to for the Colts for next season?
Honestly, I'm not
Nothing.
looking forward to anything from the Colts. Honestly, I just think they're in an unfortunate predicament.
He's like,
Who's gonna be the quarterback next year? Is Philip
um,
Rivers coming back at 45? Are you going to Riley Leonard? Are you gonna give Anthony Richardson another opportunity? Do you go in the draft and you try to draft a quarterback?
come
First,
on, no
second
more,
round,
no more
third
QBs in
round.
the draft, please.
Are you gonna try to get? I mean, Malik Willis is gonna be a free agent. A lot of teams believe that he's a guy who can be a QB1 in this league. You gonna take a shot at Malik Willis, bring him in, or you just need another stopgap guy? You gonna just roll with Riley Leonard and hopefully Daniel Jones heals and becomes ready by week 6, week 7?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just so many question marks
A lot of
with the
questions,
Colts
absolutely.
coming from the quarterback position, which is the most important position for a football team.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. I just don't know it. I mean, so I can't really look forward to it because I just don't look at them as contenders going forward.
Should they? Should they bring like an abridged quarterback until Dane Downs gets healthy? You think they should go back and sign him again?
Man, I think you always, as any franchise, I think you always got to look for your next franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
If you bring in a bridge guy, then you're not closer to getting your franchise quarterback. Now,
I
this
said that
all
because I don't know if he'll be healthy by the time the season starts. That's why I'm
yeah, but
saying.
I don't believe Daniel Jones is their franchise guy. I don't
Okay.
believe he's that guy. I believe he was a stopgap guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
He
now it's
surprised
time
me.
for you
He
to
surprised a lot of us.
right. I mean, he played well. Don't get me wrong. He played tremendous. I don't know if this year's draft is the draft you want to go and get your quarterback in. I think next year's draft is going to be
Mm-hmm.
when Archie Manning comes out,
Archie,
when Sellers come out. You got the quarterback out of Duke. He'll be coming out. You got more quarterbacks coming out in that next year draft because a lot of those quarterbacks decided they were going to go back to school because why not? NIL has changed the game. I can get more money staying in
mm-hmm.
college than I can get being the first round NFL quarterback, first, second round NFL quarterback. So why not just go back, hone my craft, and then come into the league and I can get off running. So maybe they'll go to a bridge guy. Maybe Anthony Richardson can put in the work. What we talked about a week
Yeah, I haven't
ago.
come up on him yet.
He's
Yeah,
still young.
very.
You have to show these people that you're serious about playing football and you're serious about playing quarterback. And I've talked to you about this at length
Yeah.
throughout this show. The quarterback is a different position. It's a different animal. You can't be a regular guy. You can't be. I'm sorry. You just can't do it. You have to be all about playing quarterback. You can't be going out. You can't be being seen places. It's different. You have to be.
It's
You
different,
have to
especially if you're not playing well.
right. You have to show not only the fans, but you have to show your coaching staff. You got to show the front office that I'm really serious about my craft. And that's how you get your foot back in the
Hmm.
door into having the opportunity to show that y'all didn't get it wrong. I am the guy. I am the guy that y'all drafted with the number 4 pick in the draft.
Hmm.
Let me show you. So maybe this is an opportunity for Anthony Richardson. I mean, the door is wide open. They need a quarterback. Show me. Show them.
Yeah. Looks like we might be headed for another QB competition again with Anthony
Right.
Richardson, maybe Riley. So we're gonna see what happens. Philip Rivers, maybe, I don't know if they decide to bring him back again. Who knows? That'd be
Right.
really, really interesting if they take a page out of from Cleveland Browns and we have something going on over there on that side very similar. It could get
Well,
really, really interesting,
most teams have a
but
quarterback competition unless your franchise guy is
hmm
cemented. Other than that, it's competition. That's where you get your. I mean, that's the NFL. Every position is a competition. Nobody's job is safe.
I think it depends on who you are. I beg to differ when it comes to certain people like the Travis Kelsey's when he was playing good before, he kind of tapered off the past like 2 seasons. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you really got to be one of those who have like cemented your spot. I think, where like they know that they need you and like you're gonna be there. You have to necessarily worry, about your job security. But for most, you're absolutely right. Moving on though, you guys, all right? Because I was like so hoping that the Ravens were going to get this win yesterday, and it started out pretty good. And then Lamar got hurt, and
Mm,
it still was pretty decent after that because they did have the win. They were winning. And then Derrick Henry is benched, and Drake May makes some plays, and Patriots win. So, with that
right.
being said, what did you think about the game from between the Patriots and the Ravens yesterday?
I just thought it was a strange ending. I don't
Hmm.
understand it. I don't understand. You're up.
What didn't you understand?
I don't understand. The Ravens are up. They're up.
Hmm.
What 21-17 or no what 21 something. I forget what the score was at the time. Yeah, 21-17. You're up with the ball.
Yeah, they got a touchdown, and then yeah, they got
Right.
the kicker.
You're up with
Yeah.
the ball. Derrick Henry has 128 rushing yards. That's 7.1 yards a carry. He has 2 touchdowns. He's steamrolling. He's gashing every time he touches the ball.
Mhm.
And
Didn't he
you're
also
up.
fumble in the game as well?
Yeah,
Did I
he
remember
fumbled
that?
early. He
It
fumbled
was
early in
earlier
the
though.
game.
Okay, I'm like, I
Yeah, he
remember
fumbled
that.
early
Okay.
in the game.
Hmm.
We had forgot about that because he's played so well after that,
Hmm.
and the Patriots had no answer for him. And you're up when you want to run the football, when you want to run the clock out, and you take Derrick Henry out the game. And then you give the ball back to New England. They go down and score. They take the lead, and you still keep Derrick Henry on the bench. I just
Hmm.
didn't understand it. He only had 18 carries. It wasn't like he had 30 carries on him and then like that. So that game just ended weird to me. It
Well, that ball
people
was
at
also
home,
punched out, right? Was it not punched
yeah,
out from was it Zay Flowers?
right. People at home are already skeptical
Hmm.
about sports entertainment, which they should be. I mean, anybody who knows anything, they understand. But still, you supposed to hide it. You don't supposed to. It just
You think it
seems
was a
really
rig?
strange. It
What
just
you
seems really
know?
strange when you take one of the best players in the NFL off the field in crunch time.
Well, he's done that before though. What other game was that this season that he took him out at crunch time? And it was like, why is Ricky not playing? I cannot think of the game because it's been so many games who they were playing. But I remember him being out again in similar fashion around the same
Right.
time. And honestly, we're talking about it now because they did obviously lose the game, but they still had a chance to go down and win this game. They very much had a
They
chance.
did.
And then obviously the ball gets punched out. They get the ball, and everything else. So that,
Yeah.
that that happened the way it did. But if they went down and they win this game, then we're not really talking or questioning, his decision to bench Derrick Henry. Maybe you might be questioning it,
Well,
but
yeah,
the
I would
win is
because
gonna mask all of that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
massive
Um,
for the public. But me watching the game and I was watching the game with one of my homeboys, and we're sitting there and the Ravens are up, and we're like, why is Derrick Henry not in the game? This is weird.
mhm.
Then you go back and they score. The New England Patriots score, and Drake May had an incredible game. I mean, the way he works the pocket, is beautiful. I mean, he's not fast and then like that, but he knows how to slide to the left, slide to the right, slide up, slide back. Okay, come out the back door. I mean, and keep it
Instinct
in.
to bet on.
I mean, it was just beautiful football. 380 yards later, you get a W. It
Hmm.
just, I just can't for the life of me understand how you trying to win a game. Your starting quarterback is out the game, and your best player is on the bench when the game matters. So yeah, I mean, I just think it was a great game, but I think that's it for the Ravens. I just don't see them.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see Lamar Jackson playing next week. Now maybe if Lamar Jackson finds some magic juice and he heals up and he plays the next two games, especially considering what happened to Pittsburgh earlier today.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure we might get into it. But
You
if
will.
Lamar somehow miraculously come out and play, they got a chance. They can win these last two games.
Um, Listening last night when they asked him to come out at halftime about Lamar, he was like, "Oh, well, he's getting some treatment. We'll see how it goes." Said, "Oh, he's not coming back." Like
Right, right,
the
right.
body language, the tone. I was like, he's done for the game. That's that, right? He's not happy. It's not
Oh
coming back
yeah,
out. And then earlier, a little while ago, I was reading. They said he has not severe, like he's gonna be out for the rest of the season, but serious enough, like back contusion. And I was like, back is a funny injury.
it is.
I don't. Honestly speaking, I don't think they have a chance, at this point with the way everything is shaping up. Now, a lot of strange things are happening this season, okay? These crazy endings with 2-point conversions, reversed and bouncing back and whatnot. It's really, really interesting this season. So I guess obviously anything can happen the way it's looking, but I don't think it's gonna happen. I really don't see it. What's up,
Yeah.
DJ? What's going on? How you doing? We always up late Monday night. We always on here.
Right, right. Um, Tyler Huntley played well. I mean, he's a guy who's capable of winning a game. It's just you got to go to Green Bay this weekend.
Is Jordan Love playing though?
Uh,
And their
The
backup
deep,
look pretty good too though.
yeah,
I
Malik
was
Willis
like,
is
hold
like I
on.
said. Malik Willis is going to be a free agent. A lot of teams are going to be considering him to be their QB1 next year. I mean, he could be
What
the
about
starting
Mac
quarterback for the
Jones?
Colts. He could be the starting quarterback for the Colts next year. He could be the starting quarterback for the Falcons next year. Like
Arizona?
Arizona could make a call. So, I mean, it's gonna be an opportunity out there. We'll
It
we'll
is.
have to wait and see. But Green Bay defense is gonna be there. They're gonna show up. And even with
Min- Minus
Jordan
Mike
Love
Jones
not playing, I think Green Bay is a better team than the Baltimore Ravens, especially if you don't
right
have
now.
Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson. Now,
Yeah,
I
right
don't
now.
know. Like you said, he has a back contusion. I don't
Yeah.
know how serious that is. I felt like I was talking to it with my buddy. I said, "Man, if they go shoot him up, maybe Lamar come back and play." But I was like, if I'm Lamar down that shot, I'm out. I already got
Yeah.
paid. I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm good.
finna let y'all shoot me up just so I can play in the football game. And I think I believe that's the kind of person Lamar Jackson is. I just
Mhm.
think he could have played maybe if he got a needle, but he
Mhm.
was like, I'm not taking the needle, and I'm not playing if I'm not 100% or close to it.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's over for the Ravens. You got Green Bay and then you got Pittsburgh. Now I believe they can with Lamar, I believe they can beat Pittsburgh under the current circumstances.
Mhm.
But that Green Bay game is gonna be what dooms them.
Indiana Colts play the Niners tonight, DJ. If the Niners Super Bowl ready, the Jags damn show is. Well, we gonna get into the Jags a little bit later
It
now.
must be a
'Cause
Jags fan.
we gonna get to that a little bit later. But yeah, um, it just like I said, Lamar, he hasn't been healthy since he came back. I said that for the past I don't know how many weeks now. So it's really unfortunate. But at this point, if I'm Lamar, I agree with you. I'm not taking no shot. I'm good. Like the
Right.
season's is what it is. And it's just it's time to move on. But I will ask you at this point because it's been a few years now with this matchup. if Lamar, let's say Lamar comes back, right, and they still lose these next two games, What changes do you see or do you think should happen in Baltimore? Or you will leave it as is if you're upper
Well,
management, if you're the GM,
you
you ownership, you're like everything's fine. I'm just gonna keep rocking out with this roster, same coach. We
no,
gonna
you
see what
can't do
happens.
that. You can never do that. You can't keep bringing the same roster back. I mean, there's gonna be turnover. It has to be turnover
So what
every
change would you make?
year. Like I said, I think they need another wide receiver in the worst way.
Hmm.
I don't
In the
know
worst way. Okay.
if yeah, in the worst way. DeAndre
Hmm.
Hopkins, he's long in the
Hmm.
tooth. Rashad Bateman, I
Not
just
long
think
enough too.
he's another guy. Now I like LeJontay Webster. I don't know if they're gonna develop him to be a number 2 receiver to Zay Flowers. Zay
Hmm.
Flowers has to he's lost 3 fumbles this year. We got to fix that. We can't be losing the ball on offense from our number 1 wide receiver. Three lost fumbles for a wide receiver. That's a lot. But I think they need another wide receiver, somebody who can take the top off. I do like
Hmm.
the tight end situation, so we good there. The offensive line is pretty decent. You can always add another O lineman, but you got to do something with that defense. You have no
Hmm.
pass rush whatsoever.
We used to brag
Somebody,
about this Ravens defense. We used to be like, man, the Ravens defense is like just lights out. Lights
yeah,
out. Last season, season before that, it was like Ravens defense, Ravens defense. Now it's just like, what happened to the
they
Ravens
used to
defense?
get after the quarterback, but now they're not getting after the quarterback. I mean, Drake May had all day yesterday. I mean, he had time to read, do a book report, turn it in. I mean, I was like, come on, man,
That's how I
get to
felt
the
with Caleb
quarterback.
watching the game against the Packers. I was like, Caleb has way too much time. What is happening?
Get to the quarterback. And then,
Hmm.
Marlon Humphreys, he's solid, but he's long in the tooth. So you need some help on defense. You need a rejuvenation of some
Hmm.
sort. You need younger players, and you definitely need some line help. You need somebody on that edge who can
Hmm.
go out there and get after the quarterback. I don't know if you find that in the draft. Maybe somebody become available in free agency. Maybe
Hmm.
you make a deal, but Baltimore has a lot of holes to fill on that team, both
Hmm.
offensively and defensively. So I start with the players first, and
Before the
then
coach.
oh yeah. I don't I'm not too because the
All right,
coach
coach,
is
we know you
solid.
keep the coach.
The
We know
coach
you
is
keep the
solid.
coach there.
The coach is solid, but their window, Lamar's window of opportunity of winning the Super Bowl with that current regime is getting smaller. And if it gets any smaller, then they're gonna have to
Hmm.
look at possibly put another voice in the locker room and seeing if that'll help.
I'm surprised to
But
hear you say that.
yeah,
Wow.
I'm not quick to get rid of good coaches, but I do understand
You know how
that
you feel about making changes. You like, nope, keep the good coaches. Don't change
yeah,
it.
good coaches let's switch up personnel, but
Hmm.
and I know it's not all hardball. I mean Lamar Jackson hasn't really been healthy for the most part of his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he was healthy last year and we saw what he did, but he gets nicked up. His style of play is conducive to injuries. If he can't
And
run,
that's
if he
always been the
can't
conversation, right? Like, can you win with this solid play at the Q position? You know.
right, and if he can't run and has to become a pocket quarterback, then he's average. And if that's the case, you might have to get somebody that can, you know, um, communicate that style of play a little bit better than
Hmm.
what Jim Harbaugh is doing. So I mean, it is what it is. It's the league. It's about winning,
It
and
is.
that window is getting closed. It's getting short, and you have an all time great quarterback. And when you have an all time great quarterback, you don't get the same leeway as if he just had an average quarterback and he
Hmm.
was just winning these games every year.
Hmm.
He's not doing that. You know, I mean, Mike Tomlin had Big Ben. He won a Super Bowl. That's
Hmm.
that's 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 what you're supposed to do when you have a great quarterback.
Here you go, throwing in Mike Tomlin. Oh my
I'm
goodness,
just
what's
giving
going
an
on?
example. When you
But
have a great quarterback, the onus is to
mhm.
win. Now, if
Like,
he
well,
just had Tyler Huntley as his quarterback, and then he
wow,
had
Tyler Huntley
another
just catching
makeshift guy,
strays, man.
right?
Tyler Huntley just catching strays on the live. What's going
No, I
on,
mean he's
man?
good. I mean he's solid. I mean
I
I
don't
was
feel the
saying
same way, Tyler.
I
Put
was
that
saying
out there.
yesterday I don't know why he keep getting passed around.
Hmm.
He's a solid backup quarterback.
Hmm.
If your quarterback is out 4 games, he's gonna come in and he's gonna win too. That's what you want him to do.
And before we move on, though, go past the Patriots, right? Because we got two QBs pretty much in their second season, and they both look really good. Honestly, I think Caleb has surprised a lot of people. We know how you feel about him personally, but we're gonna focus on the
Right,
talent
right.
on the field. We're not gonna talk about other
Yeah,
stuff,
let's
right? That
focus on the field.
crazy throw, with even crazier catch, that obviously gave the Bears the win against a hobbled Packers team. They still won. Win is a win,
Yeah.
so it's in the win column. If you had to, which team do you think has the best chance? Because they're both good teams. They both coach very well. Which team out of these two do you think has a better chance of making it all the way? Patriots or Chicago?
Oh, the Patriots by far.
You think
This
Drake
is
May is a better QB than Caleb?
oh yes.
Really?
Night and day. Yeah, he's way better than Caleb Williams. I
Why?
mean,
Why do you
Caleb
say that?
Williams. I'm just looking because, like I said,
Hmm.
Chicago's defense is leading the league in takeaways.
Yeah, the defense is
That
definitely busy.
defense is man. Those are some dogs.
Hmm.
And Caleb Williams has gotten away in a lot of games. I give him credit. Quarterbacks gonna get credit for winning games, and like I said, they
Hmm.
sometimes
Pretty
take too
much,
much blame for losing. But
they do.
Caleb Williams has got away with having mediocre games, and he's winning. He's winning playing mediocre football. He's
Yeah,
not necessarily playing great football. I mean, I'm looking at his
I agree
completion
with that.
percentage. He's a 58% passer. That's not good. That's a good completion is 65%. Maybe a young
Hmm.
quarterback you're looking at 60%. He's a 58% passer.
Hmm.
I mean, that's just not gonna cut it. And so
With that defense, with the defense showing up like that, it might cut it.
it might cut it because one thing I can say about Caleb Williams, um, he's not turning the ball over a lot. I mean, 23 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, that works.
Compared to
When
how
you
he
got
looked
a
last year too. Because last
right,
year he was just getting knocked around.
right, when you got a defense that plays that well, then what I just need you to do as my quarterback is not turn the ball over.
Hmm.
And if he doesn't turn the ball over, he's fine. But I'm looking at a quarterback who's 58%. He has 3,400 passing yards. That's not. I mean, that's Jalen Hurts esque. Like you're not out here with
Wow,
4,500.
another
Yeah,
stray,
I'm
another
saying
stray.
that. No, I'm saying Dak Prescott and Matthew Stafford are at 40 around 4,500 yards. That's another
Hmm.
1,000. Those are prolific passers. Those are the
Hmm.
guys you look at like, okay, yeah, wow, that's amazing. I'm not seeing that with Caleb Williams. So yeah, I'll definitely take Drake May over Caleb Williams. And I think the New England Patriots are better than the Chicago Bears. But the Chicago Bears defense, I gotta give them credit. They are amazing. Hell, I mean, you're looking at Drake May, he's completing 71% of his passes. He's already at 4,000 yards. Like it's night and day. It's not even close.
I don't know. I get what you're saying about the defense obviously being more the reason why they won the games, the Bears, than Caleb. But Caleb has the ability, like in the big moments, to just make some off script, crazy, like over the shoulder, behind the head, like kind of throw, and just
Hmm.
get it to who he needs to get it to when he needs to do it. And
Right.
because he has that ability, with that defense, and obviously with Ben Johnson, because this is a whole thing here. It's not just his ability, his talent alone. Um, I, I can't say I would choose Drake May over should I say the Bears over the Patriots over the Bears. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how both of these teams and these QBs specifically how they perform in the postseason. Because this one thing, when the
Right.
pressure's not really on, but when the pressure's on, when it's when to go home because there's no like back to back games or other opportunities, then it hits a little bit different. So I'm curious to see how they respond, to the pressure in the right lights, the biggest lights so far in their career, because they'll be playing pretty more, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, one of these teams won 10 straight at one time. You know,
Hmm.
that's impressive. And the Patriots are still playing for something. They're playing for that number one seed in the AFC and to
They
be able to
are. The
get that
Bills
first
right on
round
them.
bye. Well, I mean, the Bills not going to catch the Patriots, but I'm just saying there it's the Patriots and the Denver Broncos who are going to be one of those teams are going to be the number one seed in the AFC.
Are they
And
not? Do
so
they not have the same record right now? Are they not 11? Both at 11?
who is that?
11 wins. Patriots and Bills. Am I tripping?
I think the Patriots are 12-3.
Okay.
So, you know, they're still playing for something. I mean, you fall off the
Yeah.
wagon and Buffalo wins the next two games, then you know it's over with. So it's still a lot to play for. I just think if we're just talking about the teams,
Hmm.
I think Chicago is they can be comparable to New England if you want to look at because I think defensively, I think Chicago is slightly better than New England.
I was gonna say the
Offensively, I
same.
think right.
Defense is a little bit better.
Offensively, I think New England is better. But
Hmm.
I'm just when it comes to the quarterback between Drake May and Caleb, it's not even close to me. Drake May is the better quarterback. Now with me saying that, let me give credit to Caleb Williams because Caleb Williams
Uh oh.
he's gotten
Let
better.
me
He's
find
shown
out.
Improvement. Yes, he's shown improvement from
You
last year
gonna
to
be a
this
Caleb
year.
Williams fan by the time this season is over.
No, no, it's not gonna
You gonna
happen.
get your
But
Caleb jersey. You gonna
no,
be
it's not gonna
watching
happen. But I
Chicago
like
Bears
the
on Sunday, cheering
I
for
like I
him.
like no, it's never gonna happen. But I do like to speak with objectivity and
Uh-huh.
being objective. He's played better this year than he did last year. I mean,
Well,
his
yeah.
ability to escape his ability to escape pressure is uncanny to me. It's amazing. I mean, I
Yeah, it
see him
is.
get out of situations where I'm like, there's no way he was supposed to get out of that situation. He's
Hmm.
running the ball more in opportune moments and
Yeah.
some of the off script plays that he's able to make because he has what you call A1 arm talent.
Hmm.
There's no denying that. That's what made him the first round pick coming out of USC. His ability to scramble, throw on the run with precision. He's one of the best in the league with off script plays. And so
Crazy
I
arm
give him all the
talent is
credit.
better than
I
nail
give him all the
polish.
credit in the world. If it wasn't
Hmm.
that defense in Chicago is not the sole reason why the Chicago Bears are leading their division. The other part of that reason is Caleb Williams has played well enough. He hasn't killed the team. Like I said, only 6 interceptions, 23 touchdowns. Last year he had 20 touchdowns. He's already gonna have more touchdowns this year than he had
Hmm.
last year with the same amount of interceptions. So I gotta
He
give him
looks a lot
credit.
more confident this year, as just in whole. I mean, last year he looked like
He
he never played football. I was like, what's going
right,
on? You know, like he was all out of sorts in that first season. But obviously, first season you gotta adjust. The coaching situation
right.
was what it was. It was a lot going on. But he's definitely made some great strides from last season to this season. They all have. So has Drake May.
Right.
JJ got a chance to play because he wasn't healthy last year at all. I think the only like second year QB that's kind of regresses JD, but obviously he's injured. So he hasn't really been able to play. So you can't really judge him too much because he really hasn't really been out there.
Yeah, those injuries are well, if we go back and we really study what happened last year, the
Hmm.
Washington Commanders won a lot of close games. The Hail Mary in Chicago, there were a lot of close games, last possession games that they won.
Hmm.
And this year, even with Daniels being in the lineup, they were losing those games. And then the injuries hit. So
How many games did he actually play this year? What, three, four?
maybe around maybe somewhere between 3 and 5. Not many. He's been out. He's been out. Which once again, which is why we look at him like is it regression or is it just injury? Same with Michael Penix. Is it
I'm gonna say
regression
injury regression right now, but I think
or
next season, if he's healthy, we'll definitely see a lot more. Like if it's
right?
looking the same, he's healthy, but it's not giving what he used to give, then yeah. Because CJ was struggling, after that
Yeah,
first season.
still
And like the
struggling.
last few games, he's gotten a little bit better, but that defense is lights out. I mean, by far, the
Right.
defense is the focal point of that team. So you got defense like that, you just got to make sure you take care of the ball. Don't do nothing crazy. Just take care of the
That's it.
ball. Let them do the rest pretty much.
That's it. I mean, because after that first year, teams get tape on you. And once they got
Yeah.
tape on you, they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, and they really start the game plan against you. And once they start game planning against you, that's
hmm
when you really see the elite quarterbacks, step up, because what the elite quarterbacks do, they just watch a ton of film. I know
hmm
you're game planning against me. Well, guess what I'm doing? I'm game planning against everything you're doing. I'm game
hmm
planning against your defensive coordinators. I'm game planning against your cornerbacks, your linebackers. I'm
hmm
game planning against all that. And the great quarterbacks are able to sustain prolonged success because they're one step or two steps ahead of you at all times
hmm
because they're watching that much film. That's why I'm saying, as a quarterback, your life is different. You don't get to hang out and have buddy and be here. No, no, no. You watching film. Everything is football, football, football. You got to eat football. You got to sleep football. You got to drink football. Your kids got graduation. They got dances. You not there. It's football, and they pay you big money. They pay you $300 million to sacrifice all of that. And if you want to be great, then this is what you do. If not, then you be Kyler Murray.
Wow, you throwing a lot of shots out tonight.
I'm
It's
just
just a lot of
calling it.
people. A lot of players are just catching strays tonight. I don't know what's going on. Everybody catching strays tonight. I'm gonna move on from this topic, man. Who's gonna catch a stray in the next segment? We're gonna move along. We're gonna move along to your Steelers, man. Heading on down to Pittsburgh, or should I say, heading on down to Detroit? Because I got my Detroit hoodie on. Um, and man, that game got really really interesting. I did not expect the Steelers to come out and just body rock the Detroit Lions. I mean, just punk them. I was like, oh my goodness, what is going on? They're in shambles out there. They look
Mm-hmm.
shooketh. I was like, what is happening in Detroit? But with
Yeah.
that being said, though, could the Aaron Rodgers? Right, I think this might be his last year. And if it is, Aaron Rodgers getting the Steelers to Super Bowl. They have not won a playoff game, and God knows how long. We've been talking about that for I don't know how long here, right? Mike Tomlin in the hot seat. They were chanting fire Tomlin, like 3 games ago, and obviously it wasn't looking too good right now. It's gotten a little bit better. They've won the last few games, and could this be, especially when you don't have Lamar Jackson to worry about? Joe Burrow is, the Bengals, they out there, but they're not going nowhere this season. You have to worry about
Mm-mm.
them either. Patrick Mahomes, you got to worry about him. Could this be the year that the Aaron Rodgers of all people, of all QBs, leads your Steelers, coached by Mike
Mhm.
Tomlin, to a Super Bowl? Aaron Rodgers retiring with a Super Bowl ring. What do you think about that?
Well, like you told me, if you get in, you got a chance.
If you get in, you can
So,
win.
right, you get in, you can win, and that's all Aaron Rodgers wants. All he wants to do is have a chance to compete
Mm-hmm.
and go to the Super Bowl. I pull for the Steelers. I don't believe that that's gonna be their destiny to be in the
Oh
Super
man.
Bowl. I don't believe that. I just don't
First
believe that
round, first
roster.
round exit again.
It's possible. It's hard to win in the playoffs, and that team is really
Mm-hmm.
not. They don't really have a roster to go
We
for,
watched
in
we
my
watched we
opinion.
watched that defense get punked a few weeks ago by the Bills.
Yeah, but what they do have, they have great coaching and they have a leader at quarterback. I would say that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been on the roll for the last few weeks. Ever since
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson, I mean not Lamar Jackson, sorry, Aaron Rodgers. He's a 4-time MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since he called his players out, he said, y'all guys not watching film right. Y'all not watching enough film. You're not dedicated. And he had all those guys come over to his house. He had a party. It was a film watching party. And all those guys came over and they watched film and he showed them how to watch film and they just watched film and they
Mm-hmm.
focused and they dedicated themselves to the game. And that's leadership. And since then, they've been rolling. The defense has been playing great. The offense has been playing
Aaron Rodgers
light
irritates
years
me
better.
because there are
Light
times when
years.
he plays like crap. I'm like, dude, hold yourself to the same standard. He's quick to call out the teammates, and I'm here for accountability, but hold yourself to that
Right.
same standard.
Well, when you're a 41-year-old quarterback, you kind of understand your limitations, and you understand that I need help. I'm not Aaron Rodgers of old, where I can do
Mhm.
this on my own. I can't put the team on my back and be Superman.
Mhm.
I'm 41 years old. I need help at this point. I need you to be where you need to be when you need to be there. I
Mhm.
need the offensive lineman. I need you to hold your blocks for this amount of seconds so the running back can get where he needs to be. These are the things I need. I'm not capable of doing it on my own. And he's been around long enough, and he has a high football IQ where he understands when guys are not where they're supposed to be, when guys are not doing the assignment that they're supposed to do. And if they're not doing that, then he understands that I'm handicapped because I'm not mobile as I used to be.
Mhm.
I just, it's just certain things I can't do anymore. I need the guys around me to play better. And if they do that, then guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make sure they get paid on the back end because you're gonna
Mhm.
have more success. Kenneth Gainwell is about to get paid money. They got him for the cheap. He ain't gonna be cheap next year. Somebody gonna have to pay Kenneth Gainwell. DK Metcalf has come in last 3 weeks of come alive. I mean,
I'm listening. I'm listening. Continue.
You bringing
Continue.
Adam
I'm listening.
Thielen. I'm sorry, what's that?
I was saying, go ahead. I'm listening. Continue.
Yeah, you bring in Adam Thielen, you get him in 2 weeks, and he's already contributing to the offense. This guy's a 35-year-old journeyman, pretty much. So they're making it happen. They're making it happen, and I give a lot of credit to Aaron Rodgers and his leadership, and I give a lot of credit to Mike Tomlin for his leadership, the way he's able to motivate men to be at their absolute best and to go that extra mile and pull something out that they didn't even know they had. Pause. But for that reason, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers, you're gonna have to beat them in the playoffs. They're not gonna lay down. They're not gonna lay down. You're gonna have to beat them. Mike Tomlin is gonna get everything he can out of this team. I just think there's better teams in the AFC right now. The AFC is loaded, in my opinion. When you talk about the Broncos, you talk about New England Patriots, you talk about
Mhm.
Buffalo they have Superman, and so um Houston Texans with that defense, they can beat anybody with that defense as long as CJ Stroud protects the ball. So yeah, I mean, I think the AFC is wide open, but I think out of all the teams in the AFC, honestly, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably the worst team that's going to make the playoffs.
Mhm. We're gonna move along, right? Because this ending was something else, right? I'm
Right.
actually gonna share the screen so we can play it really quickly. And I want to get we didn't actually text about this. I want to get your thoughts. We did briefly, but I want to get your thoughts a little bit more detail about this here ending, man. Can you see the screen? Let me come back.
It's me and you on the screen.
Oh, let me go. Okay, hold on. Add to stage.
Okay.
Hold on, let me
All
remove
right,
it.
here we go.
Hold on. Eh, Come on. Should come out of here. All right. You hear it? Can you
I
hear it?
don't hear it. No, I don't hear it.
Are inside the 5. However, they're down
You hear
12
it?
points. And also,
Okay, yeah.
see, situation has to matter here for these two teams. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on a point where they're a game up against Baltimore, but if they can make that a 2-game lead, then they play Baltimore the last game of the season. It won't matter. The Steelers will have clinched the playoffs then. Meanwhile, for the Lions, they found themselves a game and a half back from the Packers entering this week, but the Packers lose. A win here puts you just half a game out of the playoff spot. So both teams, for Jared Goff is going to make a nice throw to Gibbs. Nice block out there on the edge. Not a pick play because it was not past 1 yard of the line of scrimmage. So good job there by Detroit. Sets up this situation. This is actually a little bit further. The Steelers were driving the ball. They were running the ball effectively. Finally, the Lions are able to hold them to a 3rd down and 8 situation. But for Rodgers, if they get the first down here, there's a 2-minute warning and 1 timeout left. So the game isn't over, but you'd be looking at realistically like 20 seconds left. You would assume you make the field goal, so 8-point game. Like it's more or less over if you do not get the stop here for the Lions. However, Rodgers, he doesn't love what he sees. He ends up just throwing this football away. Now, Tony Romo on the broadcast said, "Hey, does that need to be a? Is that the right call there for Rodgers? He could have just taken a sack and burned a little bit more clock to do that for Rodgers because." But also, it makes the field goal tougher. You see here, now Boswell gets to try what for him is like a chip shot field goal. And let's be honest, even if you bump it back 10, 15 yards, he's in a dome. He's Chris Boswell. He's going to make this anyway, right? Make it an 8-point game. Well, as you see, I wouldn't have said that if you knew how I was setting that one up. Off the right upright, it is no good. And
he's usually clutch.
The Lions now, instead of the game being over, they find themselves in a situation where they can win it in regulation with a touchdown. Need a touchdown, though. Field goal won't do. Early on, they got to a 4th down and 2. So game's on the line. At this point, if they do not convert, there's not enough time left. The Detroit Lions will lose the game and be in a really tough spot to try and get into the playoffs. Jared Goff's going to take the snap. He is going to look over the middle. He is going to fire over the middle. It is incomplete. Jamison Williams stands up. He's saying, "Where is the flag? Where is the flag?" I didn't think they were going to throw it. I thought that this was going to be it. However, very late, you see the flags do come in. It is pass interference called on the defense here. Not just that, but very quickly after, the Steelers would get called for tripping. That's another 15-yard penalty, which now brings the Lions even closer. Again, need a touchdown, though. So no matter what these penalties do to bring it closer, you're going to have to get the ball into the end zone for the Lions. So then the Lions keep driving it. Screen passes, getting them close. You see this big one with Amon-Ra St. Brown. They would then work the other side of the field. The Steelers are blitzing, so that's why they're doing these screen passes. It is working. And the Lions are able to get to the 1. For a second, it looks like they score a touchdown. However, this was called back due to a pick. I'll show it a couple times. You do see the receiver closes towards the sideline. Watch what he does. Past 1 yard now. You see, then he creates the contact. It was that second player he created contact with. That means no conversion there to have to go back on 3rd down. The Lions nearly have this one. Can't quite connect. Now it is 4th down and goal. 8 seconds left. Barring a penalty, you assume this is going to be the last play, right? Jared Goff takes the snap, so he's going to find Amon-Ra St. Brown. We don't see how he gets open. All we do is we see he catches the football, but he's short. He's a yard short. The Steelers make the tackle. They win the football game. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to have incredible presence of mind here. Watch how he just, flips the ball, finds all people who makes the catch and gets into the end zone for a touchdown. The Steelers had stopped playing because they saw the flags and thought Amon-Ra St. Brown was tied up. There was no whistle, though. If there's no penalty here, this is a touchdown and the Detroit Lions win. However, this was the penalty. It's it is offensive pass interference. You can't really argue with it, right? Like he just runs over Jalen Ramsey. That's a clear call. But also, again, we all know the rule that if there's a defensive penalty, the offense gets another crack at it. Game can't end on a defensive penalty. The game does end on an offensive penalty, even if it's accepted. Jared Goff went into the end zone just after the clock hit. It was legitimately just after the clock had hit 0. It was like an extra second. Because of that, this now means that the game is over and the Pittsburgh Steelers win. Just absolutely crazy stuff here.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that ended like that for the Lions, but the rules are the rules. The Lions, You know what? The Lions lost this game early, man. Dan Campbell, I like Dan Campbell. I like his aggressiveness, and he likes to go for. But take the points, bruh. Take the points. Stop leaving points on the field because you feel like you want to go for it all the time. You cost your team dearly this season. You've lost 3 or 4 games because you decided you did. I'm Dan Campbell, and this is how we play. We go for it on 4th and 6. Like, no, that's not football. Good coaches don't coach that way. Good coaches punt ball.
Is that how he sounds?
Yeah. We're gonna bite their kneecaps off, and this is what we like. Come on, bro. Like I get it. And when it's working for you, it's working. And it worked the last couple years, but it cost you in the playoffs, and it cost you in the regular season this year. And another year like this, I'm sorry. I gotta look at replacing my coach in Detroit because this is not gonna cut it. You leaving points on the field. You're going for it in our own territory, and we don't get it. And now the opposing team has the ball already in scoring position. You're costing the team. Your defense isn't good enough to hold up. You're missing half your defensive players. Your defensive starters are gone. You don't have Teron Arnold out there. You're missing Branch. You're missing Kirby. Like when you missing all these guys, you can't afford to leave points on the field. So I just think Dan Campbell did his team a disservice this game and this whole season. And for that reason, the Detroit Lions will not be in the playoffs this season.
Honestly, it really is unfortunate because this is so explosive. They have so much talent on the offensive side of the ball. I like Dan Campbell. I think he's a hell of a coach. I love his risk it all attitude. I really do. And the whole team obviously shares the same view, the same identity as the coach. They're gonna go for it no matter what. They're gonna risk it all. Right. More times than not. Even when they shouldn't, they're gonna stay true to their identity. And when you're winning, I guess people don't really say anything about it because, they won, So shout out to the Detroit Lions, for being bold and risky and all these different things, And then when it doesn't work, you get criticized. So, but you if you're gonna always change, every time something doesn't go your way, then at the same time, you're not being true to yourself either. So, I will say, I understand, although I was still upset about it. I'm not even lying. I don't have a dog in this fight, you guys. But I was like that. The way it ended to me was crazy. I thought the Steelers dropped the ball a little bit late in the fourth quarter. I'm like, you got your foot is there, it's on their neck, so to speak. You got to close the game out. You can't do that, because you left the door open. And if they had, things had gone differently, then it's a different kind of conversation that we're having today. In the playoffs, you don't want to leave the door open, and then you're back sitting at home like, damn, back in the locker room like, man, why did we do that? Or we should have did this. For me, the call though, with Tesla, the contact from my angle is like it was initiated by the Steelers, not so much him. And if that one's not called, then the touchdown Amon-Ra St. Brown catches stands. And the game is already over at that point. Or they have how many seconds left to go back and make some kind of magic happen?
Yeah.
So for me, that call was like, are you serious? Because there was two Steelers players that initiated contact. I'm like, why is he the one that's getting the flag and the penalty?
Because Tesla didn't run the play right. When you run that play, and it's a pick play, that's the play. And I think it's rinky-dink, but a lot of teams do it, especially Detroit. They run that rinky-dink offense where you really kind of try to cheat. I mean, the Rams run it too. But the difference is Tesla, and I know he was coached better than this. When you run that play, you can't make it so obvious. You can't make it like you're blocking because you're on offense and you're not running the ball. You're a wide receiver as a pass play. So you have to make it look like you're going for a pass. Just turn around and put your hands up while you run into the guy. If you do that, then it's just gonna be a touchdown for Amon St. Brown. But when you don't do it and you never turn around, you never put your hands up, now it looks like you're blocking the defender. Well, they're gonna call that offensive pass interference every time, and you're not coached to run that play like that. You're supposed to make it look like you're actually out there running the route, and it just didn't look like he was out there running the route. and that's why they called the play. Another thing is Pittsburgh was up. I believe they was up 12, 13 points in that
Yeah,
final
like
fourth
two
quarter.
scores. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, that fourth quarter, and I saw a stat. I actually saw it last night, and it Pittsburgh Steelers on the Mike Tomlin are 104-0-1 when they're up 12 points in the fourth quarter. They win every time. They almost dropped the ball. To your point, it was some things that came down. The field goal kicker, I need him to make that. He's usually solid. You can count on it. You can write it in the book when he goes out there to kick.
Yeah,
Boswell is one
that
of the
was crazy
best
that he
kickers
missed
in the
it. I
league.
was like, oh man.
Right, and he missed it in a dome. No win. Like it was unexplainable. But at the end of the day,
It happens though.
it's
Yeah.
right. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they still held on because Detroit run that rinky-dink offense. And when you run that rinky-dink offense and guys don't do what they're supposed to do to a T, that's what happens. You end up losing the football game. I mean, to me, I like Dan Campbell too. I like the cojones that Dan Campbell has, but he did some of his worst coaching job this year. I mean, he was awful. He wasn't a good coach this year. And if he has another year like this, they're gonna get rid of him.
I think a lot of it also. I think they need to get a better offensive coordinator in there. I know that he took over in quite a few games and was making some of the play calls himself, but that's not his area of expertise. I think he did okay.
Agreed.
But his thing is defense. So get somebody that you can trust. You know what I mean? That is going that you can trust, that is going to do the job, get it done. Because I think him splitting head coaching duties, defense and offense, calling plays, I think it was too much, and he did the best that he could. But it's just not his just. That's just not what it is. But I do believe that we'll see them again next year. It's unfortunate though, because last year they had so many injuries. And offensively, they were just so freaking strong and just dominant, just running over just any and everybody. Every time they pretty much played a game, A.D. Hutchinson, everything happens, and it got really crazy. But that is the NFL, like you can't take any season for granted.
Right.
Like when you have one of those seasons where it's just like everything's lining up the way you want it to, or you start off rocky but you finish strong and you just kind of go on this crazy run. You got to ride that wave till you can't no more. Because the next year, it's like you be right back down here. It's like, wait, what happened? They got the same people, the same coach. Like, why is it not lying? It's just a different year. It's just not happening the same way,
Yeah. I mean, they wanted to run the same offense that they ran last year. Because and I understand you don't want to, change the verbiage and change the playbook, because for a quarterback, it can be tough to learn a new offense. Now, I think next year they're gonna get a new offense coordinator in, and I think they're gonna have to learn a new offense. And when you put in a situation where you have to learn a new offense, it could cause you to take a step back. And your defense really isn't good enough for your offense to take a step back. So I understood why Dan Campbell made the decisions he made pertaining to the offense. I really get it. But next year going forward, your defense is going to need to be a lot better, because there's a strong possibility that your offense could take a step back, at least early on in the season, while you're trying to get acclimated to a new playbook, to a new style of offense. And we'll see how it goes. That's why in the NFL, your window of opportunity for winning is not that big. It's really short. It's really 2 or 3 years. I mean, you gotta look at Detroit has been the favorite the last 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
And they didn't get it done.
I know we weren't talking about the Eagles, but just talking about the changes and OCs and coaching, like Jalen Hurts, that offense, they've seen quite a few different OCs, the past few seasons, and they've still won one game, Super Bowl last year. You know what I mean? So I think we don't give enough credit to the fact that they've been able to withstand the changes. At those positions. So key positions, by the way, are very, very important to winning. Key to winning too is you got to get adjust to a new coach, and even though he could be in the building, he's still different. He might not call the plays the same way the other coach called them. So he might see things a little bit differently. You know what I mean? So it's just an adjustment, but they do. He does fairly well, given the changes, and I think that's also something that I just wanted to speak on really quickly, that we don't. I think give enough recognition to, because like you said, sometimes it's hard to make adjustments and learn things and get used to a new style of play and the way he wants to do these things, and I'm used to doing it this way. Like it can get really really tricky.
Oh yeah.
But really quickly before we move on from this subject, because DK Metcalf, I'm just wondering. He shared his screen. I'm like, what the heck did this guy say? I'm just wondering, like, first, why did you even go over there to begin with? You know what I mean? Like, what were you like? Why did you go over there?
Yeah, DK
Like,
has to be smarter. I'm kind of disappointed in him because you have to just know better. I mean, you
That not going to have great consequences for the Steelers. DK Metcalf mixing it up with someone in the stands. Oh my gosh! And that not going to have great consequences for the Steelers.
oh, I saw that and I was like, why did you go over there? Like, why did you walk over there? Now, look, I went to the Knicks versus Detroit, no, which is crazy. At MSG during the playoffs, and people say a lot of crazy things. It's one thing, like you
right.
see it on TV, but to actually hear it. I was like sitting. Me and my son were sitting in front of Tim Hardaway Jr. In front of sitting in front of Tim Hardaway, excuse me, and fan was going at him. I mean, just saying the craziest things. I was like, oh my god, he was going back and forth. I was just like, people just say whatever. I
Yeah.
think they sometimes they forget, like, these people are still human. Like, you can't talk crazy to everybody. Russell Westbrook almost caught a case a few times. Like, what happened? Like, leave us alone, okay? But you do have to be smart and show discipline and restraint, because you are still in the NFL, you're still in the NBA, and people are gonna say things. But when you go punch them, beat them up, or whatever, there goes a lawsuit, suspensions, and you're losing.
Can't do it.
It's really really unfortunate. Now, they said they asked the fan. I don't know if he lied. Obviously, I wasn't there. He calls him by his government name, and obviously DK did not appreciate that. I don't know. I haven't heard DK side of it. I know he didn't do any interviews yesterday after the game. He just went straight, home, whatever have you, or to the hotel. But I did read that he reported this same fan. I think in 2020, that last season, the same fan, they had, I guess, a little bit of a history. Don't know if it's true or not. That's what I read online. But what were your thoughts when you first heard about it, when you saw that clip?
It's inexcusable. Can't do it. I don't care what he said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what he called you. I don't care what he called your mama. I don't care what he called your newborn baby.
Your daughter, yeah.
I don't care what he called your daughter. I don't care what he called your wife. I don't care what he called your Lord and Savior. You cannot do it. It's inexcusable.
Why you bring the Lord into it?
I'm
What's
just
going
saying.
on?
I'm just saying it's inexcusable. You cannot do it. You just can't do it. I mean, those fans, they pay really good money to sit where they sit. Now, just because they pay good money to sit where they sit, no, it doesn't get them the right to say whatever they want to say. But
I'm like, you pay money to watch it. You pay money to sit where you sit and watch
the game. They can push a line. Right, they can push a line though. They can go up to that line, and it's almost a fan's responsibility to be a heckler, to try to get in your head, and that's what home field advantage is all about. You got to know this. You got to understand that the league is gonna protect this shield every time.
Mm-hmm.
Westbrook, he's never hit a fan.
He came close.
He got into it and told him, y'all better take this guy out of here right now, or it's gonna get ugly. And then security gonna handle that. That's what you do, DK. You let them know, hey, y'all need to get this guy. It's gonna get ugly, and they'll just remove that guy. They'll take him to the back, or they'll take him out the game, and they'll ask him questions. What's going on? Why are you doing this? What you say? They'll go and ask the people around what's going on, and if he's out of line, they'll remove that guy. They'll take his season tickets away. He'll be banned from games. After Ron Artest and the Malice in the Palace, the way leagues cover guys and
Malice
fans,
in the Palace. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that changed everything. So you have to understand this if you DK. I kind of felt when I saw that video, because I saw it like actually during the game, I was like, oh man. I was like, if they make a big deal out of this, if they like actually show it to, I'm seeing it on X. If they actually put this in the media, I'm like, he could be done. He could be done for the season. I was hoping that he would just get one game at the most, or maybe a heavy fine. But I knew in the back of my head, I was like, they might suspend him for the rest of the season because that was dumb. That was the most boneheaded decision a player could make, and you hurt your team.
How do you think this will affect the Steelers like the next 2 games? If it affects them at all.
Well, if the Ravens lose, then it won't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they play Cleveland Browns next week, I don't think it matters. But but let's just say Lamar healthy and Lamar goes out, he beats the Packers next week. Mm-hmm. And let's say Shedeur has his best game and the Steelers, the Cleveland defense, Myles Garrett goes out there, he get 2-3 sacks, he breaks the sack record, and he takes Aaron Rodgers down, and the defense holds up, and the Browns beat the Steelers. Well, now you're in the game for the playoffs between the Ravens and the Steelers without your number one wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
That puts your team in harm's way. And that's what you can't do. And it cost them. Now, it cost them guaranteed money. If the Steelers decide that's really in the next 2 years they want to move on from DK Metcalf, they're off the hook. They don't.
Because you got rid of George Pickens, right? For a little attitude problem. You know what I mean? You got rid of George for that reason. You kind of got somebody else in there who's a little more of a hothead as well.
Well, George Pickens is a little bit different. I mean, even though George Pickens never did anything this dumb, on a consistent week in and week out basis, George Pickens was a nuisance. DK Metcalf haven't been a nuisance week in and week out. It's just this week he lost his mind.
Yeah, I really would like to hear from him. Because I'm like, if the fans tell him the truth and he called you by your government name, I'm like, did it really result in all that? Like, because he called you by your name? Like, I'm curious.
If I hear from DK, all I want to hear from DK is, I apologize, I let the team down, I hurt the team. I'll do better going forward. This will never happen again. Other than that, if you're not saying, that, I don't care nothing about what you're saying.
I'm curious.
Yeah, but I don't believe you. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, if the evidence is overwhelming, that this person said whatever they said, God knows what they called you an N-word, they called your mama the C-word. Okay, still, I don't care. You tell me what they called you. I need you to follow that up with. But at the end of the day, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have did it. I hurt my team. I'll never do it again. I'll get better.
And that works. And we both get what we want because I want to know what he said.
Right.
So like we both get what we want if that's the case. He said this, but he said that. I apologize. I was wrong. It won't go by that.
Right.
Good morning. Good evening. Good night.
Matt Knox, what's happening? Good morning to you.
But you brought it up. You did. We're gonna move along because you brought it up. They are heading on to Cleveland next game.
Yeah.
Shedeur, legendary Sanders, got 2 games left to really make his case why they should stick with him for here on out. Obviously didn't get the win against the Bills. I did not expect them to get the win, but I thought the game, I was surprised it was as close as it was. Bills defense got a little bit too comfortable to me in that second half, costly penalties. I don't think Josh's ankle was 100% because he didn't really get outside that pocket at all in the second half. He kind of just stayed right within, a certain, little space. And typically, he gets all over the place. He jumps, he leaps, he's all over. But he stayed in the game, because he knew that they needed to win. And I understand why.
Right.
Obviously, Shedeur has some interceptions, 2 this time as opposed to the 3 from last week, although one of those were not on him. I'm watching the game, like, that was not Shedeur's fault. The first one, not the second one.
One where he threw it behind the receiver?
The first one.
Yeah, that was...
Homeboy could have caught that.
We sit here and discuss every week how bad We discuss every week how bad his receivers are. Now you want them to make great catches. Like, no, you got to hit these guys in stride on the money.
Also, it wasn't like he was surrounded by like just mob. He was double teamed. There was not even the Bills player right there in the vicinity when the ball came to him.
I'm saying there was a Bills player in the vicinity because when it ricocheted off his shoulder pad, it got intercepted. So somebody was close by. You know, if it was
that first one, but things happen obviously faster than like you look at the replay moves and slower motion, right? You know, but their point is it was opportunity where he had it and let it go. You know what I mean?
It was opportunity.
And I'm like, dude, you got to make that freaking catch. One thing I don't like about interceptions is that obviously it goes under the QB stat, you know, and even if it's not their fault, it's a perfect, you know, throw and a team bats it, some kind of craziness happens, other team is getting it.
But it wasn't a perfect throw though.
You know, no, I didn't say it was perfect, but it was thrown well enough for him to catch it. No, it wasn't a perfect throw. It was
thrown well enough for a great receiver to catch it, but not that receiver.
Well, look,
that's why he didn't catch it.
That's he don't have great receivers on the line, so he can't do nothing about that. He got to throw to who he got to throw to now. You know, as he gonna throw it and then run and try to catch it himself. You know,
I agree.
But so he went down. Interception is my point. From 3-2 from the game before against the Bears, and completions were a lot better this game. It's 20-29. Last game I didn't want to talk about it. Okay, so. I liked the way they started the game out. They started out, you know, they showed urgency, you know, they were moving, they scored on the opening drive. I was like, okay, go ahead, Cleveland, let me find out, you know, they coming up ready to show the Bills.
Exactly.
We're gonna win this game. We're not Josh who? Josh what? Like we cool, we don't care. You know what I mean? I was here for it. Then Shedeur, I don't know what happened with his nail, his finger, or something happened. Then he had to leave. I said, don't tell me Dylan Gabriel was going to finish this game. Like, what's going to happen?
Right.
But Shedeur was like, no, I'm coming back out. Forget that. Like, I'm not losing my job right now to that young man. He comes back out. And then the second half of third quarter, they got really sloppy for both teams. I was like, what the entire heck is going on for both of these teams? I'm like, the Bills, y'all know better. I'm like, y'all going to play around, let the Browns win this game? Are we serious? And you just came back from that being down 21 points against the Patriots? Like, you know, like, don't lose this game. I kept saying that. Like, y'all better not lose this game. And then the batted passes happened like 3 times. I was like, Shedeur, like, what are you doing? Who are you throwing to?
I know a guy who they were saying he was too short. And they were banning his passes down. He was too short. We need to put a taller guy in there. And
my thing is, though, I don't know what Shedeur was thinking, obviously, but I'm just like, dude, you cannot try to throw over a defensive lineman who's like 6'5", 300 pounds. You can't see where the ball is going. Like, all they're doing, if they had caught those, and just ran in, like, we're talking about more than one touchdown. And I mean, the score would have really ran up. It was just batted, thank God, and it wasn't anything after that. But overall, right? I'm gonna focus overall, right? He was like his rating last week was like a 30, 31, somewhere in there.
Right.
This week he moved up to 64. You know, so
that's not good.
No, it's better.
It's better, but it's not good when the average is 94.
You know, and you know, and obviously, what game was that? I forgot what game it was. Obviously, it was a lot better than the 64. You know, but he's a rookie. You know what I mean? You know how we talk about rookies.
Oh yeah.
With that being said, though, because I did see progress, you know, obviously it didn't result in a win, and that would have been even more phenomenal for Shedeur to win against the Bills, Josh Allen being there and everything.
Oh yeah, he had an opportunity.
It didn't happen, you know, so it didn't happen, and then Quinshawn goes down with a nasty leg injury. I was like, oh man, looks similar to my son a few weeks ago.
Terrible.
And I felt bad for him. I'm just like, the season's over anyway, so go ahead and get your surgery, and hopefully come back, ready for beginning of next season. But what do you think Shedeur needs to do against the Steelers? I think the Bengals are the final game. To show either the Cleveland Browns that they should be confident in sticking with him, or maybe another team that's out there looking, Arizona, someone, to let them say, okay, maybe we could bring Shedeur in, maybe we could develop him. What do you think he needs to show in these next 2 games?
He needs to win. That's just the bottom line. I keep saying he got to win.
What about how he plays though? Because he can play sloppy as hell. The defense can can be the reason why you won the game.
Yeah, I think at this point it just matters that he win because, and it don't matter how you play because at the end of the day, you need Cleveland to be out of the quarterback picking position.
You don't think it matters at all how he plays, win or lose?
Clearly, it don't because he hasn't played well, and they have committed themselves to starting him for the rest of the season. So, but what I'm saying is, if Cleveland ends up with 3 wins, they're gonna have a top 5 pick. They're probably gonna be picking 3rd or 4th, you know, and they're gonna be in prime position to. They're gonna feel the pressure to take a quarterback at that position. Where if you win 4 or 5 games,
not 3 QBs, please.
Right. Well, that's
I'm
what I'm
like, not
saying.
3.
Like,
then you have Shedeur, then you got Dylan, then you got Mendoza potentially.
right.
Like, come on.
That's what I'm saying. But you got to give Cleveland out of that position. If you win, if the Cleveland Browns end up winning 4 or 5 games, now you have the Jets and a couple other teams move up in front of them. And now you say, okay, we're not even in position to get the quarterback we want. So why don't we just wait another year? Why don't we develop Shedeur another year? And then if he doesn't ball out this year, then we go into next year's draft where the quarterbacks are better. So what you got to do if you're Shedeur, you got to win so that you can put Cleveland out of the quarterback picking position. Because if they're in the quarterback picking position, they're going to take a quarterback. And that's just the bottom line.
Honestly speaking, if they went and chose another QB while they still had things unresolved between Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel, I'm like, what in the entire heck are y'all doing?
And
because it's obviously it didn't. And I forgot he's there too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And obviously you're still paying him, so I think no one's taking that contract on. So I think you kind of stuck with him right now.
Yeah.
But so you have 4 QBs, and obviously you're back in kind of the same situation you were last season. To me, it really would not be smart at all. You got to resolve something between Shedeur and Dylan. Now, if you say, you know what, we gave enough chances to Shedeur and we didn't see it, fair enough. You know what I mean? He had his chance. You didn't like him. You're gonna go back to Dylan Gabriel, or it's gonna be Deshaun Watson with Dylan Gabriel as the backup, or Mendoza, or whatever. But I'm like, you can't keep bringing in like multiple QBs, and it's like 4 or 5 QBs, and it's complete like just craziness. Like you got to pick something and develop someone and build around that person.
Agreed. Yeah, I think they have bigger problems than quarterback issues right
That's
now.
what I was saying. You know, like your other things need to be figured as well. You know, you need to get some other pieces in there. You know, like especially offensively. So
yeah, the field. Whatever happens on the field happens on the field. That's secondary problems. Jimmy Haslam got to figure out what he's gonna do in the front office. Am I gonna trust the people that created a mess to clean up their mess, or am I gonna nip this in the bud and get them out of here? They created a mess, and bring somebody else in here to clean up this mess, and give them a year to clean up this mess, and then 2, 3, 4 year 2, year 3, year 4, then I can really start to build on something. But I need to get somebody in here to clean up this mess I got. And I don't trust the guys who made the mess to clean up the mess. I gotta get rid of Stefanski, and I gotta get rid of Andrew Berry.
You getting rid of both if you're Jimmy?
I'm getting rid of both of them, and I'm bringing in a new regime, and I'm allowing that new regime.
Mike McCarthy?
If it's Mike McCarthy, whoever it is, I'm allowing that new regime to come in and make decisions on what they want to do going forward with the with the football team, from the quarterback to the cornerbacks to everything. I'm gonna let them make that decision. If they want to go in the draft, if Mike McCarthy, let's say you hire Mike McCarthy and you say and Shedeur is his guy, then Shedeur is his guy. If you hire Mike McCarthy and he says, I don't like any other quarterbacks on the roster, I want to take this quarterback out the draft, I think he's my guy, then you let him take his guy. Whatever it is, let the new regime decide what they want to do, and Jimmy Haslam stay out of it. Let football people do football things. Don't be Jerry Jones. Don't be Arthur Blank.
I don't think anybody will be as bad as Jerry. Oh my goodness. That's a whole other conversation. We're gonna see how that goes. And by the way, RIP to the Cowboys for this season. They are done.
Oh, with them.
Last segment. Look at quickly, guys, before we get up out of here. So, what you just play? What was that? Wow, wow. Before we got to hear you guys, last one. So Jacksonville surprised some folks yesterday. I had to put it in big bold print so y'all could see it. They stunned the Broncos. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was a beatdown. It's a beatdown now, right? Trevor Lawrence was 23, 36, 279, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. His rating was 115.4, which is obviously a really, really good,
That's
good
great.
rating. Bo
Yeah.
Nix, 28 of 47, 352, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, and 81.2 passer rating. I've never. It's not. Y'all know I don't like Sean Payton, right? So it's not a surprise. But just talking about the team objectively, I've always thought the stronger part of the team was obviously the defense, and to me, the offense. There's been a lot of like great comeback wins this season,
Right.
that have been obviously led by the defense. Bo Nix to me, he can be got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he can be got, and I think that was on full display yesterday. I've seen a few games earlier, but because they won, we didn't really talk about it. It's like, oh, look at the Broncos and with their comeback. They beat the
Right.
Eagles and all these
Sort of
different
like
things.
that guy in Chicago. It's the
Right?
same. Similar.
Yep,
Right.
absolutely right. I agree with you about the defense obviously being the stronger part of that
Right.
team, and obviously being a lot of reasons why they won as many games as they have. But people were actually really, really surprised. I know I was surprised. I expected the Broncos defense to get them past, the Jags, and then Trevor Lawrence. We've seen him the past few seasons, and he's had some great moments. He's had some not so great
Mm-hmm.
moments. He's been kind of up and down. But with yesterday's win, this is a very good signature win. Like I'm
Oh
gonna be
yes, it
completely honest.
was.
At a crucial time in the season, do you think that Trevor Lawrence is finally becoming who people thought he was when he was drafted? Like he's finally moving into, that the upper echelon of QBs.
Yeah, this is the game for me that made me take Trevor Lawrence serious. Now, maybe it could have been the game where they went out to San Francisco and beat San Francisco, but I believe Mac Jones was the quarterback then. It wasn't Brock Purdy, and San Francisco was beat up all the hell. But you still traveled 3,000 miles to go to Candlestick, or the park formerly known as Candlestick, and you
Mhm.
beat the 49ers. That was a legit win. But this one, I was like, okay, definitely coming off what they did last week. Now, last week I didn't really give them credit because of who the opponent was. So I was like, I'm not really
Gotta
giving
win.
that.
You gotta play who your schedule
Right,
says.
you gotta play who your schedule says. But this week against the Broncos and the fashion that they put that beat down on them, I was really highly impressed. I mean, Liam Cohen. I mean, that's another coach. We got to give him coaching of the year
Hmm.
considerations. I mean, what he's done with this Jaguar team is outstanding. What he's done with Trevor Lawrence, I mean, this is the Trevor Lawrence I watched in Clemson that I thought was going to
Hmm.
be a really good quarterback. And finally, he's playing like the number 1 pick in the draft. I just only, it's kind of bittersweet
Hmm.
because Travis Hunter is hurt.
He is.
It's almost like people forgot that Travis Hunter plays for the Jaguars. He was their the number 2 pick in the
Number
draft,
2. Yeah.
and he's a guy that they were going to be relying on, and it would have been great to have Travis Hunter playing in these moments, in these
Yeah.
situations, clutch moments, going into the playoffs, matching up against a top receiver, then going on the wide receiver side and making some plays,
Hmm.
and with Trevor Lawrence playing as well. I mean, I guess it's something to look forward to next year when he's healthy and he
Yeah, it
comes
is.
back, and he's even better than he was this year. But that's the bittersweet part about it. But yeah, Jacksonville, they're for real. They're for real. I mean, they have as good as chance as anybody in the AFC. No, am I picking them? No, but you got to go beat Jacksonville. And that's one thing I know for sure. They're not just gonna lay down. That defense is playing outstanding. I
Yeah,
mean,
they made everybody put some respect. Not
The real
respect.
Josh Allen, he's out there making plays. He's getting to the quarterback. I mean, you gotta give him credit. You gotta give him credit. So
You say the real Josh Allen?
yeah, the real Josh Allen with the Jacksonville Jaguars, the defensive player. Yeah, he's out there making plays. He's bringing credence to the Allen
Don't have
name.
me ban you and put you up out of here, okay? All right. Do not have me ban you.
This is not
All
Joshua
right.
Tyrell. This is a different
All
Josh
right.
Allen.
I
No,
know. I know.
but for real, the Jacksonville defense is playing outstanding and it's matching up with what Trevor Lawrence is doing on offense. ETN is running the lights out the ball. The special teams has been good. I mean, they're good on all phases of the game, and they are building momentum at the right time. This is when you want momentum. You want
Very
momentum
true.
going into the playoffs, and that just makes
Very
them
true.
a dangerous team. They can beat anybody. They can beat anybody.
Honestly speaking, I think even if they didn't beat the Broncos, when it comes to the playoffs, anybody can win. Like anybody can win. You obviously have teams that you expect to win because they've been so good throughout the season. They might have the Patrick Mahomes, Lamars, and so on and so forth. So obviously you expect them to win when you have Patrick Mahomes playing quarterback. But if you can get in, you can win. Like
yeah, but you don't.
It just takes one play to go the wrong way,
Right.
a fumble, the wind to carry the kick the opposite way, like just slightly bend from the pole or hit the pole and then ricochet off and go into the crowd. Like it's just anything. So,
but what you don't
you're
want to do,
right.
You don't want to back into the playoffs.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, you definitely want momentum building. You do.
Yeah, when you backing into the playoffs, like you start out hot and then you back into it, you just gonna make it because you end up being good, which is my concern with Pittsburgh losing DK. Hopefully they don't back into the playoffs. You're playing well. You build a momentum at the right time. Your defense is playing well. Now you don't want to take a step
When did
back.
TJ come back? Do you know?
TJ is he's more worried about his health right now. There are reports that he could shut it down.
Okay.
He had a long.
You had your lung. Like I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
He could shut it down. I mean, knowing the player that TJ Watt is, if they make it to the playoff, he's gonna do everything he can to play.
Yeah, of course. I get that
That's
too.
just how he rolls. But I wouldn't be mad if he decided, I'm just gonna shut it down. I mean, I got my money. I'm paid. I can wait the next year and come back.
You gotta take care of your health now, okay? Because you need to breathe.
Right.
You can't be
like Mike Thomas says, hey, next man up. That's what we do with Pittsburgh. Next man up.
Yeah.
Another team that I'm concerned about backing into the playoffs, even though they won the last couple of weeks, is Philly. I'm not impressed with what you.
Get out of here. Hold on.
I'm not impressed with what you did against the Raiders. I'm not impressed with what you did against the Commanders. And I don't want you to be backing into the playoffs. I want you to have momentum and build some sort of momentum going into the playoffs because those are the teams that win.
Do you think that they found a little something these past 2 weeks? When it comes to Saquon, obviously was used more this past because he's kind of been just kind of quiet the whole season. But this week, I forgot how many yards. He had 100. Was it 123? 115,
yeah, he played well.
13, somewhere in there. He played really well. I forgot the exact numbers, you guys. So don't quote me on it. And then last week, of course, they won. Now the opponent can't do anything about that, right? It's unfortunate. It wasn't a strong opponent, but they're coming into it with my Bills this week. Oh man, they are facing the Bills, and the Bills have shown that they can beat the Ravens in a comeback win. The Patriots, they've shown they can come back, but I hate that they start off slow. That's a concern for me. That defense is still questionable in spite of how great Josh Allen is. Predictions: who do you think is going to get the victory this weekend? You got the Bills or the Eagles?
Well, it's in Buffalo. You know what? This is a hard one for me. Pause, because
I cannot with you.
Honestly, right now, coming off last week, I don't trust either of these teams. I'll give the Bills.
One's gonna win.
Yeah, I'll give the Bills the edge because they're at home. But I just haven't been impressed by the Bills over the last 3 weeks. They suspect to me. They're another team that I believe the Buffalo Bills need to find their stride going into the playoffs. They need to fix whatever it is they got on defense that's holding them back. They need to go ahead and fix it. Now, one thing about the Bills, their running game has been tremendous over the last few weeks. James Cook is out there.
Let him cook.
He's out there running the lights out the football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he's in line to make a Pro Bowl, maybe even be a second
Over
team All Pro.
1,500 yards. So that's far.
Yeah. Second team All Pro. I mean, I think Jonathan Taylor will be first team All Pro at running back,
Mm-hmm.
but I think James Cook would definitely be second team All Pro at running back. I don't know. Jamil Gibbs is in that picture. You got a few guys who are going to be fighting for that spot,
Jalen
but
Carter is coming back this week. He's expected to play this week.
right. But this is a big game for both teams. I think both
Yeah,
teams
it is.
kind of need to try to build some sort of momentum because this is the
Mm-hmm.
last good team that either of you gonna play. The Eagles, I need to see some. Buffalo has been struggling on defense.
The whole
I need
season
you to
has
go.
been. I've been
I
said
need you to
that.
go
Yeah.
hang 30 on Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Cleveland put up 20 points. I need you to hang on 30 on Buffalo.
They have a hard
The
time stopping the run. And
defensively, I have Philadelphia Eagles great defensively. I'm not concerned about them defensively at all. But I need y'all to go turn Superman to Clark Kent. That's who I need him to be this weekend. And if I'm speaking from the Buffalo side, I need y'all to put doubts in Philadelphia offense mind again. That's what I need you to do as a defense. I need you to don't let the Philadelphia Eagles have any confidence coming out of this game. They've been struggling on
just take
offense.
it away. Just strip it away.
Take
Just
it
take
all
it
away. Take it all away. And I need Josh Allen and the players around him because it can't be all on Josh Allen.
like
Philadelphia Eagles have a
80%.
Philadelphia Eagles have a really good defense. I need the supporting cast to show up. I don't know what's going on with Keon Coleman. He was a healthy scratch last week again.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and Gabe Davis as well. Coach's decision. I said,
Right.
Stop
So
looking too good, Keon. You know, you missed a few games for being late and whatnot. I don't know what you're doing, bro, but
correct.
give it Anthony Richardson. You better stop playing.
But the guys who are there, the guys who are showing up to play, I need y'all to ball. I mean, Josh Allen made a play this weekend against Cleveland. He throws the ball in the end zone. Tight end just drops the ball. That's a touchdown. I need you to make those plays. I need momentum going
It
into
was
the
two that was
playoffs.
dropped. That could have been
Right.
touchdowns.
I need momentum going into the playoffs, and it starts this week for both teams. So this is going to be a very interesting game to pay attention to this week between the Buffalo and Eagles, and it could be a preview of the Super Bowl.
We did say that, like, what, last week before that? You're absolutely right. It could be.
Right.
It absolutely could be. We gonna
I don't
see
know.
though.
Buffalo got me worried. They almost lost to Cleveland, so I was gonna change that pick.
Well, honestly speak, like you said, there was two passes that were dropped could have been touchdowns. You know, like, so if those are caught, if obviously, you know, those are caught, then the score is obviously
Right.
different. I don't think Josh was. I think his ankle was bothering him in the second half. He just didn't look the same. He didn't have the same intensity he was playing with. My concern with the Bills is that outside of Josh, you know, they put a lot also on James Cook. You shut his number one like weapon down, it's just pretty much Josh. You know, and they're very, very beatable when it comes to offense because it's it can't always just be Josh and James Cook. You know, you got the Eagles, you know, whether or not they utilize all their offensive weapons, they still have them. You know, they still got Saquon, they still got AJ, you know, they have Dallas. Jalen Hurts himself is a threat, you know, when he's, you know, out there running.
Right.
AJ Brown, they're like, you know, that they have way more and stronger.
Oh yeah, Goddard. Yeah, I mean,
talent as well. You know what I mean? So
the weapons are there.
Buffalo, they cannot come out like they have in previous games, lethargic, slow, you know, and just taking their sweet time to finally pick it up. Because by that time, you let Saquon run, then they cannot stop the run. Let Saquon get out and just start running amok, you're gonna be behind, like, and just try to play catch up the whole entire time.
Right.
And you don't want to do that against an opponent like this, you know. So it is going to be a good game. Both teams do need this win. They really, really do. Especially the Bills if they want to, you know, catch up, you know, with New England because they split the season now because they tied, you know, 1-1. If they want to try, you know, to win a division, so it's going to be something interesting to see. You know, we're going to very much see. I think they said if the Colts lose and they think the Texans win, there's so many scenarios. I believe Chargers, Bills, and I think Jags get in, that they all clinch playoff spots. So it'll be interesting to see what the Colts do and how this all ends up. I do expect the Bills to be in the playoffs. and then it's about matchups. Once we get there, So we're gonna see though. We're really gonna see. Of the Bills, sometimes they run the same play over and over. Like y'all doing the same freaking play every single time. Like, come on, please give me some kind of variation, man. But we're gonna see, because I mean, Nick Sirianni, they haven't been the most exciting when it comes to the play calling either. In Philly.
Right.
So this is a very interesting matchup. Jalen Carter coming back, I think could if he comes back, he's ready 100%.
Oh, that's gonna be huge.
Yeah,
right, that's gonna be huge.
And they're getting somebody else back too for the Eagles. I forgot who. There's two like key players coming back. I can't think of the player's name. But that definitely should be really huge. Honestly speaking, Philly's a stronger team. I do believe Josh Allen's a stronger quarterback, but Philly has a better team. On both sides. So we're gonna see.
I wouldn't say both sides, but
I think the defense is better and the O line is better. I'm sure they have more talent.
Yeah, I think they have more talent, but Josh Allen is amazing.
That he is, we know this, so
right.
We're not going to even go there. I don't have to say too much about Josh Allen, because if you watch football, you already know what time it is, all right, y'all? Don't even play with Joshua Tyrell.
Right, if he cannot turn the ball over, but he's gonna play a real defense this week.
So, he did this game.
Right, it's gonna be different, I mean, in Cleveland, don't get me wrong, they no slouch on defense. They were
and against the Patriots either, he didn't turn the ball over.
Right, they were making plays. So, but this defense is a little bit different, and so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I think, like I said, it's a good opportunity for both teams to try to have some momentum going towards the playoffs.
Absolutely right, you guys. That is a wrap for this episode, week 16. We have 2 more weeks, week 17, week 18, you guys. Make sure you are locked in. We are live every Monday right after the final game of the week. I forgot what game is next week, Monday, because there's a lot happening with Christmas this week. I'm going to say Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas, you guys. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. There's so many games that are happening this week already on Christmas and Friday, and so it's going to be a little bit different. But we will be back, you guys, next week, of course, chopping it up for week 17, and then ultimately week 18. It's going to get really, really interesting, you guys. All right, thank you for tuning in. Any closing words for you? Any final words?
Man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in and listening. Make sure you hit the like, hit the subscribe. Just Simply Sports, of course. One Man Cave, built for this radio network. Follow me on IG at One Man Cave, and I really appreciate you having me on. I had a good time talking NFL.
Yes, you guys, we do this. We go back and forth like during the games. I'll be like bothering the shit out of him, like, what was that? What is going on? So yes, you guys, I'm just bringing it here with y'all. So it's always good to have these conversations with you here. I appreciate your time always, every Monday. All right, you guys.
I see you be live in a lot.
Oh yeah, well, I gotta go live for Shedeur. I had to support my guy. Till the wheels fall off. What I mean, I'm gonna support him.
Yeah, for sure.
And playoffs is gonna be real interesting too. So I can't wait. I'm excited. And my Warriors won tonight, you guys. They beat Miami. They beat the Magic. I was side-eye while I was on here with y'all trying to see what's going on. So hopefully this can be the beginning of something, because they have been pissing me off for the last. I'm gonna get into that, y'all. Have a good night. We just gonna have a good night and leave it there, you guys. Peace out, you guys. Be safe and stay safe, you guys. Be productive. Peace up. A-Town down.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Oh, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm saying yes, sir, to the people.